Welcome back to another edition of Learning to Smoke. My name is Dan Phelps, and today we're going to be doing Smoked Chex Mix. This is a personal favorite of mine, and is definitely a big hit in my house and with my family and friends, especially around the holidays, because I feel like this is the season to serve it up, although you can make it any time of year if you want. When it comes to snacking, I usually favor the sweet stuff, but this snack here for the Smoked Chex Mix is going to be all savory. We got 3 different types of Chex in here. We have pretzels, we have Cheez-Its, we have bagel bites, we have nuts, we have butter and seasoning. We're gonna go through the whole process here of how to make this super simple treat that is gonna be a huge hit with your friends and family. And if you haven't already, make sure to hit like and subscribe, and even comment and let me know what you think of this recipe. To get things underway with the Smoked Chex Mix, I'm going to turn on my grill and put it at 250 degrees at indirect heat. And since this grill only takes about 10 minutes to get up to heat here, I'm going to start putting my Chex Mix together. Very quick, very simple. And I'm going to start pouring the Chex in order of my 3 favorites here. So first I'm going to start with the rice Chex. That's 3 cups of that. And then 3 cups of corn Chex. And now that's done, I'm going to finish it up with 3 cups of wheat Chex. Now that we got the Chex out of the way, I'm going to put on a food safe glove, and I'm going to use that for later. But now I'm going to put in the Cheez-Its. I'll put in about 2 cups. And now I'm going to pour in some pretzels, doing about 1.5 cups of that, as well as 1.5 cups here of mixed nuts. And now I'm going to add in some bagel chips. Going to do about 1.5 cups of those. And I'm going to take my hand here and just gently mix this around a little bit. And now I'm going to set that aside. A couple things I want to point out here. If you have people with nut allergies, you can leave the nuts out. I got mixed nuts in this collection here, but honestly, you can just take the nuts out. You can even put in more Cheez-Its if you want, because Cheez-Its is probably the most popular ingredient in this recipe. Whenever I serve it up at home, or even with my friends and family and I have over, it is the very first thing that's gone is the Cheez-Its. Back to the ingredients here, I've got a stick of melted butter, and now I'm going to put in some Worcestershire sauce, however you pronounce that. And I'm also putting in some seasoning, just some barbecue rub, using a savory seasoning for that. And I've got 3/4 of garlic powder and 1/4 teaspoon here of onion powder. And I'll put that in. I'm going to grab my whisk. And now I'm going to mix that well, because I want to make sure that all the granules don't just sit at the bottom. I want to make sure it gets all integrated well, because I'm going to pour this all over the Chex Mix that I've got set aside. And with that mixed together, I'm going to take it over to my large bowl here, and I'm going to start pouring that in. And you'll see that, yum. I see that as I pour it in, I'm going to have to start mixing it around again. Now, here's where I explain why I mix it around gently, because the Chex are fragile, and if you just start mixing it with like a spoon, or you just go with an iron fist to mix that around, it's going to start breaking them up. So mix it gently with your hand. Put on a food safe glove if you want. Put it into a big tray. I've got a big baking sheet that I'm using here. And I'm going to pour in a little bit of butter. I just grabbed like 2 tablespoons more of regular butter and just drizzle that on top. And I'm also going to put some more seasoning on top there too, because I want to make sure this has some good flavor. And I'm going to put that on my grill, because now it's ready to go. 250 degrees. And I'm going to put that in there for 1 hour. And I'll come back and we'll check out the results. Now I'm going to get back in front of the camera. This makes for an awesome holiday appetizer, holiday snack, holiday recipe, whatever you want to call it. All of the above. And as far as what kind of wood to smoke it with, I usually just do a blend that has cherry, maple, hickory in there, and it works perfectly. But I usually recommend something like a harder wood, like a hickory or an oak with this. And I recommend those because it gives a stronger flavor. After 1 hour of being untouched and grabbing that smoke flavor, it's time to pull these off. And as you pull them off, you just let them sit for probably about a minute, and then you start chowing down. All right, now it's been pulled out of the smoker. Let's give it a test. Gotta get a Cheez-It and a pretzel in there too. I'll let this cool off a little bit, so that way it's not too hot, but I like to eat it warm. I think that's when it's best, but it tastes great at room temperature too. I took a big bite, but I absolutely love it. You got that hint of smoke flavor in there with the mix of all the Chex that we have, as well as the seasonings, and a little bit of a buttery taste in there too. And here's the funny thing, I'm not a big fan of wheat Chex. I like rice Chex, I like corn Chex, I'll even eat them in a bowl of cereal from time to time. Wheat Chex, not so much. However, I do like to snack on wheat Chex, even just grab it by the handful and just eat it as it is. I think it's a great snack when it's not in milk. But when you add the butter and the smoke and the seasoning to it, it just takes the wheat Chex and all the other Chex to another level. Kind of a hard time keeping my hand out of this bowl. Okay, thanks for tuning in. This is Dan Phelps signing off, saying I hope your days are filled with good times, good friends, and good barbecue. Double fisting it.